I'm taking a year off work and travelling in Asia, but what does it all cost? I know that some of you are interested in that, and as I'm keeping a record for myself, it's time to share. First up, some principles. I had expenses before I started the trip on April 2019. So where I've been able to identify those expenses as belonging to a particular month, for example, travel tickets for a particular month or accommodation for a particular month, I've allocated it to that particular month. Where I haven't been able to identify that, for example, visas and health insurance, I've then split it up and allocated it evenly across all of the months. And finally, in compiling these figures, I've just compiled them in the most convenient currency at the time and then transferred them over to the other currencies using the appropriate exchange rate when I'm making the video. Alright, here we go. May's my first full month in Asia, so it'll give me a better idea of travel expenses, but there are some setting up costs already in May, or still in May I should say. And there's also the fact that I haven't had a couple of bills yet, so there are some things I don't know and a few extra expenses. So anyway, here's what the month's spending looks like for May in Australian dollars. So the accommodation is a month's accommodation, plus there's also some deposit there as well. The deposit was in two parts. I paid part of it in May, which was the deposit to hold the unit whilst I was still living in the hotel for a couple of days. And then there is the deposit for the unit itself, which I paid in May. So there's a bit of extra there in accommodation. There's also a little bit for some international travel that's coming up, but more about that soon. The food was just kind of regular food. I had a couple of nice meals out. I didn't live like a pauper, but I like local food, so it's actually not that expensive. There's some personal expenses, which things like grocery items, cleaning items, things like that. The laundry is for 4 sets of laundry. 2 wash and dry, 1 wash, dry and iron when I had some shirts done. The communications for the month's in, but it's only for a part month as well, so the communications in the future will be a bit more expensive, but at least there's some indication of the communications bill. There's some travel expenses as well for that international trip, so there's visas and kind of a little bit of travel expenses there. There's also the trip to Bangkok in May, where I went to go and vote and have a bit of a few days there. Entertainment, once again, it's just kind of spending a night in a bar here and there, listening to a bit of music, maybe some food and things like that. And the health and insurance is largely just the bill for the travel insurance. There's a small bill there just for a little bit of painkillers and anti-inflammatories. I think I've mentioned before I'm old, so there we go. And that brings us to a grand total of $1,969.84 Australian. So not too bad. This is what it looks like in Thai baht. And as always, for those of you who like a standard currency, and by always I mean the second time, this is what it looks like in US dollars. So that's not too bad for the month, and let's see how the rest of the year pans out.